Every Muslim wants to enter Jannah, because Jannah is the place where all our wishes will be granted, and much more Allah will grant us by His immense blessing. Today we are going to learn about some qualities. If we acquire those, Allah Almighty will enter us in paradise. These are the opening verses from Surahalmuminun, Surah number 23. Allah Almighty describes the qualities of His humble and beloved man. Allah says in Surah Al-Mu'minun verse number 2, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. They who are during their prayer humbly submissive. This verse, importance of Salah is mentioned. That a Muslim should not only offer 5 times Salah, but also should perform it with full understanding and keeping in mind where he is standing, who is he speaking with, and who is he asking from. When he knows that he has to stand again after his Lord, he cannot do anything wrong during these 2 prayers. Allah Almighty mentioned in Al-Ankabut, verse number 45, Inna salata tanha anil fahsha'i wal munkar. Indeed, the prayer restrains from indecent and wrongful conduct. But practically we see that often people who offer salah still they commit sins. This is because they don't act upon this verse. Allah says, الَّذِينَ هُمْ فِي صَلَاتِهِمْ خَاشِعُونَ. They who are during their prayers humbly submissive. If we firmly believe that Allah knows our actions and we will have to stand after Him on the judgment day, and even before that, we have to stand after Him just in the next prayer. And if we know the meanings of the Arabic verses and verse that we recite during prayer, and we keep out all our worldly thoughts during salah, we will feel a change in our salah. The second quality, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions in the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse number 3, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنِ اللَّغْوِ مُعْرِضُونَ. And who keep aloof from what is vain. Another quality of the person who will enter Jannah is avoiding what is vain. Anything that is not beneficial for our world or akhirah is love, which means vain. Brothers and sisters, we should be careful where we spend our precious time. Our life is given just once. We can elevate our rank in paradise by utilizing our time smartly in beneficial deeds. Watching movies, drama, social media apps for fun only, even spending time in useless debates and many other actions are examples of vain. Whatever we do, we should think first, is this useful for my world or akhirah? If you find that answer yes, then do it, else leave it. The third quality of the person who will enter Jannah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِلزَّكَاةِ فَاعِلُونَ. And they who are observant of zakah. Giving zakah by correctly calculating it and handing over to the deserving one is compulsory. Paying zakah will kick out love of world from our hearts, and sympathy for poor people will increase. Zakah also affects economy of a country positively. The fourth quality is mentioned in Surah Al-Mu'minun verse number 5, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِفُرُوجِهِمْ حَافِظُونَ. And they who guard their private parts. Then verse number 6 and 7 says, إِلَّا عَلَىٰ أَزْوَاجِهِمْ أَوْ مَا مَلَكَتْ أَيْمَانُهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ غَيْرُ مَلُومِينَ فَمَنِ ابْتَغَى وَرَاءَ ذَلِكَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْعَادُونَ. Except from their spouses or their slave women, for then they are not blameworthy. But whoever seeks beyond that, then those are the transgressors. Islam teaches us that inclination towards opposite gender is natural, but we can fulfill our desire with the opposite gender only by marrying or by slave women. Slave women are not found now. Now, once you marry a lady, then keep yourself limited to her. And before marriage, one should control his eyes and by all means should control himself to do any vulgar action. The fourth quality of the person who will enter Jannah is mentioned in verse number 8. وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ لِأَمَانَاتِهِمْ وَعَهْدِهِمْ رَاعُونَ. And they who are to their trusts and their promises attentive. These are the two very important qualities of a Muslim. Then in verse number 9, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once again says, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ عَلَى صَلَوَاتِهِمْ يُحَافِظُونَ. And they who carefully maintain their prayers. You can understand the importance of Salah here. In the list of the person who will enter Jannah, only this attribute is mentioned twice. That they who carefully maintain their prayers. Then in verse number 10 and 11, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْوَارِثُونَ. Those are the inheritors. الَّذِينَ يَرِثُونَ الْفِرْدَوْسَ هُمْ فِيهَا خَالِدُونَ. Who will inherit al-Firdaus. They will abide therein eternally. This is the final result, that those who adopt these attributes will be entered in Jannah, where they will live eternally. There are more qualities of a person who will be entered in Jannah. What we have learned here in Surah Al-Mu'minun, we must make this part of our life so that Allah include us in the list of those who inherit Jannah.